Hey everybody, gather on round. It's time for that blog that truly blazes. Yes, it's that time again, as I say every week. And this time it's June the 3rd of 2011, recording live here at Modern Zen in beautiful Davie, Florida. Now this is live, so you may hear sounds in the background. Got some construction going on. Yeah, they're doing some remodeling in the back, making the place look pretty. So if you hear some hammering or any strange noises, it's not spirits, it's incarnate beings doing constructive activities. So without further ado, let's go ahead and launch into this week's blazing blog. Now the first card is the last card of the previous week's reading. This card is the Seven of Swords. Entitled Futility, it represents a state of vacillation. Not Vaseline, but vacillation. It's the same consistency as Vaseline. It's very weak, it's very tenuous. It's a mind going to and fro, back and forth. Should I stay? Should I go? Shall I do this? Shall I do that? It's a lack of decisiveness. It's a lack of clear thinking, attributed to Moon in Aquarius. So it's kind of like a disconnecting of the head and the heart, because Aquarius is the mind, and the Moon tends to represent the emotions and the more subtle things. So we may have had a hard time with focus. We may have had a hard time focusing on our goals. And for that reason, I made a talisman video on how to charge the Six of Wands, a very good card, as a talisman to overcome this. That basic technique will work with any card. You may want to use it this week with the third and final card. And in a few moments, you're going to find out why. Now the next card is pretty intense. This card is the Tower. Ooh. Very, very powerful card. It's attributed to Mars. Now years ago, I had a teacher, actually a lady that introduced me to the Tarot, the one that brought me to the Spiritualist Church. I was reading her one afternoon, and the Tower came up in a prominent position in her spread, and immediately she goes, "Oh shit, every time I get that freaking card, Bobby, I wind up going bankrupt." Well, it doesn't have to be that dire. That has not been my experience with the card, so don't worry about it. But it is disruption. That can be a good thing if you're stuck in a rut, if you're stuck in a pattern, or say a job, a situation, it's not working. This breaks you out of it, okay? This expands your horizons. It's kind of like knocking down the walls of the house so you can see the rising sun, so you can see the light. That's what this is, so don't be scared of it. It may not be as dramatic as a job loss or career change or relocation of your home. It could just simply be you getting into a new frame of thinking, breaking out of a rut in your thinking, in your actions, in your habits. It is a change though, and Mars again is surgery. It's cutting away stuff you don't need. You're not going to lose anything. You're going to find yourself getting rid of things you don't need, things that don't serve you. And to me, that's a good state of affairs. Now the third and final card is the Ace of Discs. To me, this is like the perfect card to have after having something like the Tower, because it's rebuilding. It's making new beginnings. Again, this could be powerful. Could be new job, could be new career, new business, or it could just simply be a new way of thinking about your money, a new way of thinking about your manifestation. But do know this, the Ace of Discs is a melding of the spirit and the flesh. So it's very, very powerful. It's a beautiful card of manifestation, and this is something you can look forward to towards the end of the week. Now astrologically, there's no real correlation with the cards and any things that I can discern going on in the heavens. The one thing that's going to be significant is we do have Venus moving into Gemini towards the end of this week. Now Venus is planet of love. Gemini is thought, is ruled by Mercury. This is not really probably the greatest place for Venus to be. It's not terrible either. And what it could be, if we look at it from a positive light, It could be using our divine inspiration, okay, our connection with our heads to the above, to the divine, with our heart. All right, because again, Venus is the heart, and Gemini, especially on the tree of life, is higher inspiration. It's higher levels of thinking and intuiting situations. So we may actually find ourselves more intuitive, and our thoughts actually, in terms of alignment with our heart, may be clear. Exactly how this will manifest will depend, of course, on where Venus is at in your chart and where Gemini is at in your chart. But it's nothing earth-shattering, okay? This is basically a pleasant reading, and at this point, things are kind of leveling out as much as what they can in terms of the heavens. You know, we still have Pluto in Capricorn and in retrograde, and we still do have Uranus in Aries. That's going to continue for a long time to come. But in the meantime, things are looking good. Okay, listen, I love you. I appreciate you. I thank you so much for taking the time to watch the blog that truly blazes. For without your support, I would just simply be this man in tie-dye, sitting in front of this one-eyed electronic thing with some special lighting and talking into the ethers to no avail. So again, I love you, I appreciate you, and until I speak to you next week, many, many blessings.